Hello, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast from Cary, North Carolina on a 55-degree night. It's the 2021 College Cup semifinal number 2 here in the NCAA men's soccer tournament. Georgetown against Washington, and we should be in for a good one. The 2 and the 3 team in the country. Second-ranked Washington against third-ranked Georgetown. The winner will take on 8th-ranked Clemson in the national championship. Clemson, who earlier, about little over half an hour ago, defeated Notre Dame in penalty kicks in an ACC matchup in the other national semifinal. We're ready to kick this one off about an hour after it was originally scheduled to kick off, and that is, of course, because the previous game between Clemson and Notre Dame went all the way to penalties. Will there be a similar story in this one? We'll see a 9:30 kickoff in Cary, North Carolina. It's soccer after dark, and it's a spot in the national championship up for grabs tonight. Georgetown wearing their gray colors. Meanwhile, Washington in their traditional purple and black colors. And off we go. We're underway. Georgetown attacking from right to left in this first half, third-ranked, team in the country, and Washington, on the other hand, second-ranked team in the country, attacking from left to right. The top 2 teams in the country, ranking-wise, are from the Pac-12. Washington 2, Oregon State 1. However, Oregon State were ousted in PKs by Clemson in the quarterfinals. And so Washington, the lone Pac-12 representative remaining, and of course Georgetown from the Big East. The big news is that Daniel Wu for Georgetown is out tonight with an injury, and he started 17 games on the season. Definitely a big part of their lineup, but Georgetown will have to battle without him. We'll see how the Hoyas make do. Here's a Washington free kick early on. It's a dangerous ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Georgetown managed to clear, but now a throw-in won by Washington. The Huskies will take the throw from the far side. College Cup year in, year out, never seems to disappoint. Of course, last year, because of COVID, the Division I NCAA men's and women's soccer seasons got moved to the spring. At least the NCAA tournament did. And so I was on the call for a national semifinal last year. I think it was Indiana Pitt, as this ball bounces around the box, and diving on it for the Hoyas is goalkeeper Ryan Shuey. Brian Weiss, in his 16th season as Georgetown head coach, 9 NCAA tournament appearances in the last 10 years. He was also a 2019 national championship with the Hoyas. Brian Weiss has done a great job in charge of the program. Georgetown, year in, year out, are a Final Four contender, no doubt about that. And here they are in possession. This is played back to Sean Zawadski. And the Hoyas will move it across the back. Ronan Dillo. And now a long ball over the top, down the right wing. It'll be chased onto. The cross floated in, getting ahead to it for the Huskies was Ryan Saylor, and it's in behind for a corner. First of the game coming up for Georgetown. Jamie Clark is in his 11th season as the Washington head coach, a 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year in 2013, 19, and 20. Washington consistently making the NCAA tournament, but they haven't been to the Final Four in a long time. And they have had a standout season. Georgetown averaging 6.43 corners a game, 17th in Division I. Corner delivered to the near post and sent away for a throw-in. What's good, Carlos? We got Carlos in the house. Welcome into the broadcast. You're rooting for Georgetown. You watched their game against West Virginia. All right. Yes. Yep. Georgetown defeated West Virginia to get here. Yeah, I saw the highlights of that game. I didn't get to see it live, but yes, pretty solid game. Yeah, that crowd was huge, no doubt about it. Watching the highlights, I could definitely see that it was a packed house. Love to see it. Nothing like NCAA tournament games and the atmospheres you get at such big games. There was a packed house in the first semifinal at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. More than 10,000 on hand, and I assume it's the same for this one. It looks like just about every seat's occupied for the late game here. Good combination play through the midfield, and now Georgetown in the attacking third. This will be a switch, but it's played behind the intended receiver in Will Sands. Sands was making a run down that left wing, and Kendall Burks is over to take the throw in for the Washington Huskies. Where do they play the final? The same place, Carlos. Yeah, the Final Four is all in one weekend, so it's all at the same location, always a neutral site. So yeah, this year, Cary, North Carolina is the host for both semifinals tonight and then the final on Sunday. So yeah, the winners of both semifinals will just stay there in Cary, North Carolina, and will get set for their national championship in 2 days' time at the same exact field. Yep. Georgetown moving it across the back. This is Ronan Dillo. And now Kenny Nielsen. It's a bit of a poor first touch, and that ball did go out on the far sideline. It'll be a Washington throw-in coming up. Just over 5 minutes gone. This game kicked off about an hour after it was supposed to because the first semifinal went to penalties. That's the disadvantage of playing the second semifinal. Foul committed, and winning the free kick there for the Hoyas was Aiden Rocha, excuse me. And now down the left wing, it's Will Sands. Sands has room. Overlapping run. He'll lay it off to Dominic De Almeida. Sands now back to Sargent. Sargent will find Polvara, and Dante Polvara turns it over. Once again, a poor pass off the mark to Nick Scardina, and the Georgetown Hoyas will get the ball back with a throw-in. That's good combination play. This is Joe DeLuz. Will Sands. The Hoyas very patient here in the build-up. What's going on, Jeffrey? Welcome into the broadcast. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. And glad to see you as always, man. Georgetown move it all the way to the back line. On the ball now is Kieran Sargent. Ball played over the top, but unable to get there. On the right wing was, I believe, Kieran Sargent. We'll look at notable players in the NYCFC youth ranks that built their way up or are still in the youth ranks that went to Georgetown. That includes Will Sands, Dante Polvara, among a great list of players, actually. Georgetown have a lot of talent, obviously, being in the Final Four, and a lot of them have been involved with the NYCFC youth ranks, who, of course, NYCFC will be in MLS Cup tomorrow against the Portland Timbers. And Jeffrey asked about that. Yeah, I am planning to do the MLS Cup tomorrow. Yep. The game is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 3 Eastern time. So yeah, I don't have anything going on tomorrow afternoon. I just have a rec basketball game in the morning, and then I'll be ready to go for MLS Cup in the afternoon. Can't wait for it. That's a good steal. And now Washington with a chance. Georgetown claiming that the attacker was offside, and they get their way as the whistle blows. Making the run was Dylan Tevez. Tevez, originally from Hawaii. He did move to Washington State in high school. He attended high school at an academy in Washington and decided to stay in state for college. And now here he is in a Final Four. Free kick will be taken by the Georgetown keeper, Ryan Shuey. Or I beg your pardon, that's Giannis Nikopolidis. Sorry about that. Nicopolitis, Greek. Hence the first name Giannis. Of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the well-known NBA All-Star. Will I watch the Madrid derby? Yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping, Carlos, that yeah, I should be able to watch it. I know the College Cup final is Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, and the Madrid derby's at 3. So I might multitask and try to tune into both games while checking out the NFL. My Sunday is going to be full of sports, but yeah, I'm going to try to watch at least a bit of it. And this is a cross floated in, the header away by Georgetown. They still have to clear. It's now controlled by Joe DeLuz. Dante Polvara. How did the other semifinal go? Yeah, Clemson beat Notre Dame in penalty kicks, Jeffrey. Yeah, it was a great game. I caught the end of it. I was away for most of the game. I wasn't home, but I got home for the last like 15 minutes of the second half and then the entire overtime and penalty kicks. So I got to see the best part. Yeah, great ACC battle between those two teams, and Clemson, 8th ranked team in the country, knocked off 4th ranked Notre Dame. 3 of the top 4 seeds in the Final Four. The only team that's not is 1st ranked Oregon State, who lost to Clemson in the quarterfinals. 11 minutes gone in Cary, North Carolina. Great atmosphere in Cary. That's where the North Carolina Courage play in the NWSL. Also, North Carolina FC in the USL. And it's a great complex they have there. They have multiple fields. This, of course, the main one that holds over 10,000. Foul committed there. Taken down was Will Sands. Free kick given. What NFL games will I be watching mostly? I'm not sure quite yet, Carlos, because my Patriots have a bye week. So, yeah, it will be interesting. I just kind of get to sit back and watch all the other teams play. It's a stress-free weekend for a change. Yeah, there are a lot of good games. I'll be watching definitely Kansas City, Vegas in the early window of games. And then definitely at 4:25, I'll be tuning into Tampa Bay, Buffalo. No doubt about that. I can't miss that. Yeah, those will be the 2 games I really keep an eye out for. No doubt about it. Yeah, that Bills Bucks game, most certainly. It's because it has huge implications on the Patriots in the AFC East. That's out for a Washington throw-in. The Huskies have it on the far side in front of their bench. Remember, in college soccer, it's not like at the professional level where there is a substitution limit, and once you're off for the rest of the game. In college, it's unlimited amount of substitutions to a point, but if you come off in the first half, you can't re-enter until the second half, and then the same in the second half. If you come off in the second half, you cannot re-enter the game. So that's how the substitution rules are enforced at the college level, which I like for the most part. Washington will work it out from the back. Moved into the midfield. Of course, this tournament started with 64 teams, just like, well, basketball, I guess, is 68, but similar to basketball in March Madness. Got to win 6 games to win the whole thing. Both of these teams, 4 wins out of 4 thus far. And the winner of tonight's matchup will take on Clemson in the national championship Sunday afternoon. Georgetown with the ball again. Sargent now into the midfield with Kenny Nielsen. Over to Dante Polvara. Polvara, one of those players I mentioned that's in the NYCFC youth ranks. Over to Ronan Dillo. Dillo attacks some space. Now cuts it back. Washington very disciplined defensively. Long ball forward, and it couldn't be saved. An acrobatic effort by Will Sands, but it's a goal kick in the end. Well, the Georgetown Hoyas were Big East regular season champions and then Big East tournament champions. They took full control of the conference and then, of course, won their NCAA quarterfinal matchup last weekend against West Virginia to get here. And a pretty solid student body made the trip down to Cary, North Carolina, actually, for Georgetown. Of course, that's a decent trek. A much further one for Washington, where I'm sure there isn't much of a student body on hand. That would be a cross-country trip. But still, a wonderful crowd on hand for this one. I'm sure the same will be the case for the National Championship Sunday. This will be moved into the middle with Sean Zwatsky. Now Polvara. Georgetown with much of the possession in the early stages, but not many chances up until this point. You'll probably be watching Bills Buccaneers, Jeffrey. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be must watch. I'm with you on that. Over 15 minutes played in semifinal number 2. It's good combination play down the right-hand side. Tripped up was Zawatsky, but he keeps the attack alive. Edge of the box. No foul, and Georgetown give it away. It's a great slide tackle, though, to win it back. That was the captain for the Hoyas in Dante Polvara, who's been a steady presence so far in the Georgetown midfield. Yeah, that's fair enough, Carlos. That's fair enough, man. All right, Jeffrey. No, I believe you, man. This is a dangerous cross towards the back post, but the header was completely off the mark. Will Sands just got it all wrong here. Oh, man, it's the first real chance, and what a beautiful service towards the back post. That's a top-class cross, and a lack of defending resulted in a golden chance for Will Sands. But as I said, he got the header all wrong. Tried to put it back across the face of goal, but it went well wide in the end. And now Sam Fowler to take the goal kick. Well, Washington really haven't settled in all that much just yet. Yeah, Washington, Dallas, I'll keep an eye out for. I think that game's also being shown in my area on Fox. Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of good games to look forward to, even though my Patriots aren't in action. Will Sands of Georgetown was named to the Big East All-First Team, one of a number of players from Georgetown selected to that team. They will move it wide, the Hoyas. On the ball is the aforementioned Will Sands. Sands delays, now lays it back for Sean Zawatsky. Here's Kieran Sargent. Unable to settle the pass was Joe Deleuze. And now the keeper Fowler under a bit of pressure, but he manages to clear beyond midfield. And now Washington could have a chance on the counter. Ball played ahead by Miglietti. Back it comes to Miglietti. He's going to take a strike from distance, but a weak effort in the end as he shanked it wide left. But that is better from the Huskies. The Pac-12 representatives here at the Final Four. Washington will make a substitution. In comes Lucas Meek, and Imanol Rosales will take a seat. Rosales not really mentioned much in these opening 19 or so minutes. First change of the game as Lucas Meek enters the match. Meek from Mercer Island, Washington. Once again, it's Will Sands down the left wing for the Hoyas. Sands passing into the box, controlling and shielding his Deleuze. Back out wide, it's Sands. Sands trying to cross, but it deflects back off of him. and rolls out for a goal kick. Yeah, that's the plan, Jeffrey. I hope to do the Pats game next Saturday night. Yeah, I shouldn't have anything going on next Saturday night. I looked at my schedule, shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, that is the plan, Jeffrey. Who do I see winning, Packers or Ravens next week? Uh Honestly, I see Green Bay. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Baltimore. I mean, I think they're still a good team, but I don't know. I still have my question marks about them. Uh, yeah, I'm still not sold on the Ravens. That loss last week against Pittsburgh was a big loss for them. Here is Nick Scardina. Scardina with a tempting cross, but off his line to make the stop was the Greek goalkeeper Nico Politis. Nico Politis, I should say. 20 minutes down in Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Soccer Park, which has played host to a number of Final Fours in both the men's and women's college cups. The women's college cup this year was in California, the Bay Area. Santa Clara actually played hosts, and they were in the Final Four, as a matter of fact. Lost to BYU in penalties in the semifinals. Hoping to call a few of those games, but I just wasn't able to because last weekend I was I don't know what I had going on. But oh yeah, Friday night I was at Gillette for the high school Super Bowls, and then Sunday I decided to do the Eastern Conference final for MLS. Oh well. Yeah, Giannis Nikopolitis from Greece, Athens, the capital of Greece. And his father, Antonios, was actually a 2004 European champion with Greece. Of course, Greece pulled off the improbable and, sadly for me, defeated Portugal on Portuguese home soil in the Euro final in 2004. So his dad was part of that team, which must be really cool, really. This is played back to Fowler. Fowler clears, and the header off of, they say, Washington. Well, Georgetown were pleading their case. There was a bit of a delayed call by the referee, but they do give it to the Hoyas. Midway point of the first half, and no goals in this one. In the first semifinal, it was 2 early goals from both teams, and then a stalemate after that all the way till penalties. It's 1-1. Some good college basketball matchups, by the way, on tap tomorrow, 3:15 Eastern Time. Missouri takes on 8th-ranked Kansas, and then after that at 5:15, it's 10th-ranked Kentucky taking on Notre Dame from Rupp Arena. Nope, rather that's at Notre Dame. I beg your pardon. Down for Washington was Gio Miglietti, who has a face mask after I think he fractured his nose earlier in the season. And a free kick coming up for Washington. In swinging free kick, punch away by Nico Politis. Cross back in, header towards the penalty spot. Georgetown managed to clear, and now they could spark a counter. It's a great challenge from Washington's Christian Soto. He wanted the foul, didn't get the call. You're obviously going to expect a very physical contest throughout at this stage of the season. Zach Revere in for Georgetown. Kyle Linhares takes a seat. For another Georgetown throw-in. Thanks everyone for tuning in on this Friday night. Always love the College Cup every year in December. It's always a good watch. Now Washington on the ball. Settled by Miglietti. Touch forward by Nick Scardina. Scardina looking wide for Miglietti, but a steal by the Hoyas. And now Georgetown trying to switch the point of attack. Down behind the play is Will Sands. And now Washington win it back. Maximus Jennings. No, rather, excuse me, that was Kendall Burks. Long ball forward, and Georgetown, as has been the case so far tonight, comfortable in dealing with that threat. Great layoff by Stefan Stojanovic. And that will be a foul. The referee all over that one. And are they going to give a card? Maybe just a talking to here, but the clock is stopped. Foul called against Chris Heggart. Heggart, who, just went in late. That is a clear foul. Heggart was saying that Georgetown should have been awarded a free kick seconds before. The referee not buying it, though. Just over 20 minutes left in the opening 45. So far, 2 fouls apiece. Not an overly physical game, but I'm sure that will change as we continue. It'll get more chippy, I can promise you that much, as the night progresses. And that ball will trickle over the end line. Goal kick for Georgetown. It's played short. Georgetown need to be careful here in their own 18-yard box. Look a little hesitant as the pressure is applied by the Huskies. But they get it out. Header to the middle. Great layoff touch by Polvara. And Georgetown on the move down the right wing. They'll move it through the midfield. It's now Kieran Sargent. Kenny Nielsen. Played out wide, leaping header on a 50-50 challenge. Staying with it is Will Sands. It's a great bit of skill. Sands gets it back from Deleuze. And it will be saved. Preventing the corner was Kosa Rienzi. And now a dangerous ball in front on the turn. The shot couldn't get off. Off his line was Sam Fowler to claim that one before Stojanovic could get to it. But Georgetown looking more and more dangerous with under 19 to go in the first half of play. Washington's Christian Soto. Once again, thanks everyone for being a part of tonight's broadcast. Much appreciated as always. This is back for Fowler. Fowler going wide. Header flicked on, and Washington with a chance, edge of the box, but a great slide tackle. That is beautifully done by Dante Polvara. Georgetown now trying to get it out of their end, but they turn it back over. It's Soto. Washington's throwing. Well, let's go back to that Stojanovic chance, because what a chance it was, and you could see what the striker was trying to do. He was trying to flick it on with the outside of his foot to create that scoring opportunity and get around the defender. Just a bit too heavy of a touch, lost his footing as well, and that's what allowed the keeper Fowler to get there. Here come Washington, cross delivered. Georgetown's defense once again up to the task. It's wide for Will Sands. Sands plays it ahead. And tripped up was Stojanovic. Free kick awarded. Foul committed there by Gio Miglietti. Miglietti, one of the star players for this Washington team. Unable to settle was Chris Heggart. Now bouncing ball dealt with by the head of Ryan Saylor. However, Washington now have it. Into the attacking third they come. Charlie Ostrom just ran out of room in the end, and it was shielded out by Sean Zawatsky. Goal kick. Well, you can tell both teams starting to up the tempo a bit, but still not enough chances for either side. A reminder that the 2021 MLS Cup tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern time. You won't want to miss it as the Portland Timbers host New York City FC. I will be on the call for that one as the main event of the MLS season takes center stage tomorrow afternoon. Who will win it all? It all comes down to tomorrow's one-off matchup between Portland and New York City. A couple of Georgetown changes. It looks like Heggart is out and Tabora has entered the match. Another substitution was made as well. Couldn't quite see who came on. Try to get that in a moment. Aiden Rocha to take the throw-in. 30 minutes played, 15 left in the half. 0-0, no score. In this Final Four matchup, winner to the national championship, where Clemson await. This comes back to Kendall Burks. And now a great ball played down the sideline. On the chase is Churchill. Churchill cutting it back into the box. And given away eventually by the Huskies. Although in a bit of trouble there was Joe Deleuze. They will call it a goal kick in the end. So Washington applying a bit more pressure here. Georgetown substitution here. Joe Deleuze, speaking of him, will come out. He's done for the rest of the half. In comes Chris Lee. Chris Lee, number 23. This game at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. Great complex there in North Carolina. The winner faces the 8th-ranked Clemson Tigers in the national final. That'll be Sunday, 2 Eastern time. What's good, Pablo? Welcome in. Glad to see you here. This is Nick Scardina. Scardina into the middle with Ryan Saylor. An intervention by Tabora, but Washington still in possession. This is Tevez trying to slip it through, but he was not quite on the same page as his teammate. And it's picked up by Nico Politis. Still waiting the breakthrough goal as we enter the last dozen or so minutes of the first half. Washington fighting for it, and it now comes back to Burks. Burks to Robin of France, actually. Decent amount of international players on both sides. That's how far the recruiting goes at this level. And what a chip attempt here, but it sails over the crossbar. Well, not a bad effort whatsoever from Washington's Elijah Paul. Considering the lack of opportunities created by the Huskies in this first half, you can't really knock Elijah Paul for going for the spectacular there. He saw Nico Politis off his line, tried to go for the chip from distance, just put it over the bar. Trying to settle that one down was Chris Lee, but it's won back by Washington, who looking more and more comfortable as this half continues. Down the right wing. Here's Churchill. Should be a corner, and it is. The last touch from Sands. And a promising set piece opportunity on the way for the Washington Huskies, who've had 18 goals off of set pieces this season, 8 of them from corners. So this is where they can really do the damage on their opponents. Let's see here. It'll be a left-footed in-swinging delivery towards the back post. Leaping header, but unable to steer it on frame was Kendall Burks. Goal kick. Georgetown do well that time defending the corner. Excuse me. Washington possessing the midfield and comes all the way back for Daniel Wu. Oh, that's a great step in. And a steal by Washington. Slipping in the end, though, was, I believe, Kosarienzi, who is asking for a foul, didn't get the call. Just over 10 minutes left in the opening half and still no goals. It's Georgetown taking on Washington in the Final Four of the Men's College Cup. Down the left wing, it's Will Sands. Sands to Stojanovic. Stojanovic. Beautiful ball, clipping one in the box. It's a great first touch, but the shot put wide. Oh, man, it fell perfectly for Zach Revere. The Georgetown fans liking what they're seeing. And that was a gorgeous diagonal ball. First touch by the chest of Riviere, and Riviere just couldn't quite put this one on frame as Fowler closed down the angle and did just enough. Georgetown, by the way, have averaged about 17 shots per game. That's remarkable when you really think about it. That's the average. So about half the time, they have more than 17 shots a game. Not sure if they'll reach that tally tonight against such a quality opponent, but you never know. And that was really the closest they've come. Foul here called against Elijah Paul. 9:15 to play in the first half. It's Will Sands. Sands back to Dillo. Polvara. And now the diagonal switch, controlled by Riviere. Riviere into Zawadzki. Zawadzki had it stripped away, edge of the box. That's got to be a foul, and it is. Tripped up from behind was Gabe Thregold. Really a tactical foul by Zach Riviere. And was a card handed out? Not entirely sure as they were showing the replay. 8:33 left in the first half. The clock was stopped, so Riviere at least had a talking to, if not shown a card. I don't think, though, he was cautioned. But he will have to be careful for the rest of the night. No denying that. Here's the free kick taken from midfield. Headed down and now sent back in by Scardina. But a great job by Nico Politis, who snatches it out of the air. You can tell he is a very confident goalkeeper, controlling his entire box so far tonight. Great takeaway by Marlon Tabora. Tabora with the through ball, but unable to get by the last defender was Stojanovic. Great work by Kendall Burks for Washington. Or else it could have been a breakaway chance for Stojanovic, the striker of the Hoyas. 7:40 left in the first half. Of course, in college, the clock counts down from 45 to 0 each half. And you have no stoppage time, but rather the clock does stop on instances like goals, substitutions by the leading team with under 5 minutes left, yellow cards, injuries. So, unlike at the professional level, the clock does stop in certain instances, which I don't really mind. I don't mind how college do it. Of course, if you're a soccer purist and watch the global game a lot, then sure you'll have your complaints about that and how the clock goes from 45 to 0. My dad did coach Division III college soccer, so I'm quite used to it. How it is a little bit different and just the rules, etc. As this is Georgetown down the right wing. Pass turned over. That's Miglietti with the steal. Ball played ahead to Scardina. Scardina opens up to the right wing. Now Burks. Will there be a goal before the halftime break? That's the question right now. Georgetown managed to win possession back. Now 6 to play. What's good, Nate? Welcome in. How you doing, man? Great to see you, Nate. Hope you had a great week and hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. On the ball now, Polvara. Sawatsky. Nielsen finds Dillo. Hoya's right now very patient with 5 to play in the first half. Am I ready for UFC tomorrow? I'm not the biggest UFC fan, in all honesty, Nate. I'm ready for MLS Cup tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, the UFC is probably pay-per-view, so I was going to say I might check it out, but I'm not ever paying for anything that's pay-per-view. But I'll, might see the highlights on SportsCenter or something. But yeah, I'm admittedly not the biggest UFC fan. I mean, I follow it a little, but I'm not a big fan. Ronan Dillo grew up very close to Georgetown, in fact. Went to some College Cup games as a kid. It was just meant to be. His parents, Deirdre and Tommy, in attendance for this one, of course. He does come out here with 4 minutes left in the half. We can expect to see him re-enter for the second half. Kai Briscoe came in, meanwhile, for Washington. Nick Scardina takes a seat. It's a great fake by Will Sands. Sands again with time running out in the first half. Ball will trickle out for a Washington throw-in. And it will be Burks to take it. Late night action here in semifinal number 2. The first semifinal went to penalty kicks. That's why this game was pushed back by nearly an hour. Clemson defeated Notre Dame in epic fashion, and now they await the winner of this one in the National Championship Sunday, 2 Eastern time. This game ended up starting at 9:30 local time in North Carolina. I guess for Washington, it isn't that bad. If they still hadn't quite adjusted to Eastern time, it's 6:30 back home for them. Start time. Now 7:15. Washington probably got here, I would think, Wednesday. So for a goal kick, it's looking more and more likely that we'll head to the break with a scoreless game after 45 minutes. But we shall see. Maybe I jinxed it. As Sam Fowler takes the goal kick. This ball settled at midfield. Georgetown win it back. Final 2 minutes of the half. Ball clipped ahead. The header won by Saylor. And now here come Washington. Although that pass was a poor one intended for Kalani Kosarienzi. Direct ball forward. And now Polvara. Polvara, he has speed, but the pass played behind Ronan Dillo. Sorry, he stayed in the game. It was another guy who came off for the Hoyas. My apologies on that. Now with it is Sargent. Sargent with the switch. Is there one last chance before the interval? Zach Riviere. He'll get it back from Zawadzki. Under a minute left in the half now. That ball could not be saved. Here comes the Georgetown throw-in. Edge of the box. Washington have numbers behind the ball. Possession kept by Zawadzki. Now Polvara. Georgetown move it all the way out wide with Will Sants. Under half a minute now left in the first half. Polvara going to chip one into the box. Header away. Washington have it. And now maybe a chance for the Huskies. 10 seconds left. Time could be against them. Let's see. Ball played over to Briscoe. Briscoe's cross blocked. Getting in the way was Chris Lee. Second effort blocked again, and time runs out. Well, it's an entertaining ending to that first half. Both teams really starting to pick up the intensity, but no score after 45 minutes of play. 0-0, Georgetown and Washington. A spot in the national championship game is on the line. So much at stake. So much to discuss on the halftime report. Well, I'll look back on the opening 45 minutes of this one and recap an epic semifinal number one earlier between two teams in the ACC. Clemson coming out on top over Notre Dame in epic fashion. That's to come on the halftime report. But before that, here is Georgetown head coach Brian Weiss.
Wild kind of game, potentially. It hasn't been that way. Why has it been a stalemate?
We've tried to slow it down a little bit. I think it doesn't suit us if it's an up and down a game, and so I think we've done a decent job trying to control the tempo. I thought we started the game pretty well in terms of connecting some things, and then really stopped sort of dictating. So we've got to manage the possession, but we just got to be a ton more dangerous than we've been with it and get the better spots in the field.
Coach, speaking of those better spots, how do you get within that build Sean and Dante to combine a little bit more? Because it's really been one-off. They haven't exactly been in sequence together.
Yeah, they only did it once or twice, and a couple times early they did it. It was really successful for us. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that's the key. We got to get those guys on the ball, and we got to get them solving problems for us because there's space for them to operate. Once they bite on stepping on us, I think we got to be pretty good at getting behind them.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, those are the thoughts of Georgetown head coach Brian Weiss. As he said, Georgetown started pretty well. They slowed the game down themselves by controlling it early on. Washington settled in, though. Hasn't been the open game that maybe many anticipated. Could that change in the second half? I'll discuss that on the halftime report next. Stick around. No score in this national semifinal of the NCAA men's soccer tournament. And welcome everybody into the halftime report in this Men's College Cup National Semifinal. It's 0-0 between Georgetown and Washington through 45 minutes of play. No goals in this one. A bit of a cagey affair thus far. Clemson awaiting the winner. 8th-ranked Clemson defeated 4th-ranked Notre Dame earlier tonight in penalty kicks. And that national championship game will be Sunday with a 2 Eastern time kickoff. Speaking of that earlier game between two teams very familiar with each other in the ACC, it was an interesting start. Clemson with a fantastic goal, bar down, but Notre Dame responded early on in the first half. A penalty kick converted, and it stayed 1-1 for a long time. A couple of great chances in the second half for both teams. Notre Dame had multiple opportunities to win it in double overtime. Few big saves from Clemson's keeper. He'd make another stop in the penalty kick shootout. Clemson, meanwhile, converted all 5 penalties, and they move on to the national championship. Clemson's Fernandez Salvador had the 11th minute goal. Lynn scored for Notre Dame on a penalty kick in the 21st. And as I mentioned, marks of Clemson with 3 big saves throughout regulation and overtime. And a big reason why Clemson are heading to the national championship game Sunday, 2 Eastern time. What's good, Braulio? Welcome into the broadcast. I am doing very good. I hope you are as well, man. Thanks so much for tuning in as I will step aside for a quick moment. Talked about the earlier game between Clemson and Notre Dame. After the break, I'll recap the first half of this one between Georgetown and Washington. So stick around. We look ahead to the second half next. All right, welcome back into the halftime report, everybody. In Cary, North Carolina, it's semifinal number 2 of the night. Georgetown, Washington, a scoreless draw so far between. after 45 minutes. Still 45 to go at least. Of course, we need to have a winner decided tonight. And so, if it were necessary, like it was in the first game, we could potentially have overtime and then penalty kicks. But that is in the future. Let's see if this game will be settled in regulation here, and if either team can get on the scoreboard in the second half. As I mentioned, uh, Georgetown controlled the game from the start, and they really slowed it down. As Coach Brian, we said that's how they kind of wanted to play it out. And there were some half chances. There weren't really some. I mean, there were some decent opportunities on both sides, but especially for Georgetown, that miss by Riviere is one he'd probably like to have back. That was the golden chance right there. But I think in the second half we'll see more opportunities created. As you see, the shots just 2-2, and no shots on goal for either team. So that tells the story. One corner kick apiece, 4 fouls on Washington, 3 on Georgetown, and following up on my point that Georgetown controlled the game, that backing it up is the possession stats: 60% possession for the Hoyas, 40% for the Huskies. I expect this game to open up a little bit more in the second half. I don't think either team really wants to play an extra potential 20 minutes of overtime. So I expect more chances in the second half and shots on target as well, of course. We shall see if that's what we get. After the break, it's back to Cary, North Carolina, the second half between G-Town and Washington's next. Welcome back in, everybody. We are set to go for the second half of the second semifinal of the day. Georgetown, Washington, still no goals after 45 minutes. Let's see what the second 45-minute frame has to offer. Late night action at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. A great host for the Final Four. A popular host as well for the Final Four over the years on both the men's and women's side. This year, the women's Final Four was out west in Santa Clara, California. But yeah, we should be in for a good second half, I think. As mentioned on the halftime report, a lot of feeling each other. Well, not feeling each other out in that first half, but a lot of controlled possession, patient possession. But I'd like to see both teams do more with it, particularly Georgetown, who did have their fair share of opportunities, but still no shots on target, which is a big issue. So I think we'll see a more open game in the second half. It was a little bit open towards the end of that first half where we saw a chance at both ends and both teams started to come alive more. And we'll see it start to get more chippy. The intensity will rise as the stakes become higher. And we head later on in the second half where every pass means that much more. So it should be a good second half on tap. I promise you, after this break, it's out to the second half. So stay tuned. Still 0-0. Looks like we got about 3 more minutes until the second half gets underway. All right, everybody. Now we're ready to go for the start of the second half. Every year I forget that the final 4 games have an extended halftime. It's about 20 minutes rather than the typical 15, but here we are, second half getting underway momentarily. Both teams returning to the pitch and ready for the final 45 minutes of regulation. Appreciate your company as always. You guys are having a wonderful Friday night. I certainly am. And we're just a couple of weeks away from Christmas now, which is crazy to think about, really. So both teams switch ends, of course. It'll be Washington in their purple and black attacking from right to left now in the second half. And Georgetown going from left to right in their gray colors. Here's Washington head coach Jamie Clark.
At halftime, what was the message in that discussion with your assistants, and what did you relay to your players?
Yeah, I think we just have to move the game up the field a little bit, and that's both with the ball and our pressure. It was
a little too comfortable for them at times. I don't think there was a lot of chances in the game, but when we're playing well, we're usually getting pressure and we're going, at a little bit better tempo than that. And the game was a little bit too settled for our liking.
Coach, defensively, you guys were magnificent, tracked all the movements. I mean, you understood exactly where the game plan was going to be, but within that, respectfully, probably lacked a little bit of movement and presence up top. How do you now find that but still maintain the balance defensively?
No, certainly we were pretty static up there. We got Dylan the ball a few times. I think there's just room to run with the ball. You got to get it wide. You got to run with the ball for a little bit. And there's spaces to do that. And when we had those moments, we didn't really, accomplish what we wanted to do. So I think this second half is going to be fun. I think we're going to change the tempo a little bit. And if we do that, we got a good chance.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
All right, there are the thoughts of Jamie Clark, head coach of Washington, and yeah, basically just summed up that first half that we witnessed. They were very disciplined and solid defensively, but at the same time, the attack was very static, very static. Nothing. No real rhythm going up top. We'll see if that changes in the second half for Washington as we're underway in the final 45 minutes of regulation, and Washington immediately on the attack. This header flicked on, could be a chance, but whiffing on the shot was, I believe, Lucas Meek. It was. It looked like Meek was anticipating the Georgetown defender to take a touch, and he did. So it will be a corner kick for the Huskies just 30 seconds into the second half. Well, Washington getting off to just the start they wanted to in the second half, as the corner will be taken by Dylan Tevez. Washington averaging 6.45 corners a game, which ranks 15th among Division I schools. Cross to the back post. Player went down, but not enough for a penalty. And the ball sails over the end line for a goal kick. It was Ryan Saylor going down. Yeah, definitely not as big of a crowd as the one in the earlier game between Clemson and Notre Dame. As this cross is delivered, but getting there was Nico Politis. I think part of that is the late start, why there's not as big of a crowd, and then, Washington being from so far away. Also another big factor. Oh, that's a great first touch into the middle by Zawadzki, and it opens up a lot of space. Zawadzki attacking that space. He'll play it out wide. Now on the left wing, it's taken in the box. Laid back, and now the cross blocked. Washington once again in position defensively. All right, sounds great, Jeffrey. Sounds great, man. Well, you have a wonderful weekend, and I appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks so much. So be chased down in the corner by Stojanovic. And this is off of the Huskies. Georgetown ball. Will Sands over to take the throw, and we're just underway here in the second half of play. Clemson awaiting the winner. Yeah, definitely, Jeffrey. Yeah, I was checking in on the Celtics. Yeah, they got a big game going on right now with Phoenix. So, yeah, hopefully they can pull off the win somehow. Zawadzki over to the right side. Edge of the box, it's Lynn Harris. Lynn Harris trying to cross. It's blocked. That ball did go out of play, so it'll be a Georgetown throw-in as Charlie Ostrom was trying to clear it. It's thrown into Hegart. And now Nielsen. Across the back it goes. 3.5 minutes in. Couple of headers in the midfield, and now interesting decision here as it's played back by a Washington player, but ultimately comfortably headed back by Sailor to Fowler. Eventually Fowler picks it up, and now back on the ground. He'll kick it well beyond midfield. Header by Nielsen. Challenge in there, and Georgetown win it back. What's good, Vaughn? Welcome in. Glad to see you, Vaughn. Oh, and underestimating the pace of that ball was Kyle Lynn-Harris along the sideline. Remember, for Georgetown, they are without Daniel Wu, one of their key players. He's out with injury. That's a great slide tackle, and it's one in the midfield by John Franks. But his pass forward didn't find a teammate. But Washington make a mess at the back. It's one back by Aiden Rocha. Kept alive by Pulvara. Pulvara out on the left wing. He'll get it back. Over 5 minutes gone in the second half now. Moved into the midfield with Zawadzki. Pulvara. Haggart. Lays it wide for Lynn-Harris. Cross blocked. Throw-in on the way. And that ball will trickle over the end line. Goal kick. Couple of championship notes. This is Washington's very first College Cup appearance. Georgetown, meanwhile, seeking their second title in the last 3 years. Clemson, who are in the final, seeking their third national championship, but their first since 1987. So a good mixture in there. Clemson aside, who have won it before, but not in a long time. Georgetown trying to make it 2 titles in a 3-year span. Meanwhile, Washington, well, playing with house money now. This is the furthest they've ever been in history. First ever College Cup. They were always consistently a team who would make NCAA tournament, would make it to the second round, then bow out, sometimes Sweet 16. They'd get close, but never got over the hump of making it to the Final Four, but here they are. And it really has been an impressive season for Jamie Clark's side, second-ranked team in the nation. Goal kick here for Georgetown. 38 minutes left in regulation. Still a long ways to go. Still awaiting that opening goal in Cary, North Carolina. Hoyas win it back. Yeah, Vaughn, Clemson are good at soccer. Yeah. 8th ranked in the country, and they're heading to the national championship. They beat the number 1 team in the country in the Elite 8 over Oregon State, and then beat Notre Dame in PKs earlier. Down the left wing, here comes Washington. It's Lucas Meek, 1v1. Plays it back and now gets the return pass from Miglietti. Dangerous cross, and it's knocked in at the edge of the 6. And the Washington Huskies are on the board first. With 36-36 left in regulation, the opening goal has arrived. And it's Washington in their very first College Cup appearance, striking first against Georgetown. Came back to the outside. A dangerous cross from Lucas Meek, and it caused some worry for Georgetown. And this might go down as an own goal. I thought at first maybe Polvara got a touch in front. Sorry, not Polvara. I thought maybe Miglietti got a touch in front, but I don't think so. I think that went off the Georgetown defender, who was, to be fair, pressured by Miglietti. But it was all about the service from Meek on that left wing. And they're actually going to give him the goal. 4th goal of the season for Lucas Meek. The midfielder gets on the board in the 54th minute. And now Georgetown playing from behind. What a big goal that is. And the breakthrough has finally arrived. Lucas Meek, Pac-12 all-second team player. Goal number 4 on the season. Now Georgetown looking for a penalty, but nothing there, says the referee. And all of a sudden, you know Georgetown are going to start to come alive with their season on the line, trailing by a goal. Yeah, it was a cutback across the box by Sands, but not enough in that challenge to award a penalty. That goal has to be a huge confidence booster for the Huskies, and here they come again. That has to be a foul. It is. And a yellow card is going to be handed out. It's the first booking of the night. Dante Polvara shown yellow for Georgetown. And I can't say I disagree there. Going back to that shout for a penalty by Sands. Yeah, I don't think there's enough in that. I mean, Sands was looking for it. Let's just put it that way. Kind of put his body into the defender. So I am completely fine with the referee not calling that. Since the yellow card was shown to Polvara, the clock has stopped. Just over 35 minutes to play. Washington goes short on the free kick. Georgetown with numbers back in the box. And first to clear is Zawadzki. It's kept alive, though, by Washington. Here they come down the right wing. It'll be a goal kick. Running out of room was Kosa Rienzi. Yeah, going back to that Lucas Meek goal, as I said, just putting a dangerous service in is all you need sometimes. Washington, a team averaging 2.30 goals a game, which is 11th in Division I. And they've notched their first moments ago. And it did take a slight deflection, but the cross was heading on target, actually. So that's why the goal is given to Meek. And here Washington come again. Driving forward is Burks. Eventually lost it. But the Huskies win it back. Kind of a role reversal here at the start of each half. Washington controlling the possession here to start the second half. And this cross delivered towards the near post. Getting ahead to it was Nielsen. Out it comes to the midfield. Forward by Soto. Crossed into the box. Giglietti settles. Now lays it back. It could be promising for Washington. Now a shot. Blocked there. Maybe a second chance. Giglietti going wide. Now on the right wing. It's taken to the box. Nice couple of touches. Over to a teammate. Oh, what a strike! A curling effort, upper 90. And that is world class from Charlie Ostrom. The lead is doubled, and the Huskies have taken over here in the second half. A superb effort from Charlie Ostrom. My goodness. A world-class finish into the top right corner. You can't find a better strike than that from number 20. Washington continuing to apply pressure. Scardina setting it up. And my goodness, Ostrom just cutting it onto his right foot. And he did the rest in spectacular fashion. That is an unbelievable finish. Just nothing the Georgetown keeper, Giannis Nikopoulides, could do about it. 2-0. Charlie Ostrom with just his second goal of the season. But what a goal it was. 57th minute. And it's 2-0 Washington. Just like that, Georgetown in a heap of trouble. It looks like some substitutions will be made by Georgetown. Trying to get some fresh legs out there. They need some type of renewed energy if they want to keep their season alive. Because in the blink of an eye, they trail by 2. Wow, what a start to the second half for the Huskies. Marlon Tabora has come in for Stefan Stojanovic. It's one of the changes for the Hoyas. Dozen minutes gone in the second half. 2-0 Washington. Wow. That's one back by Washington. Gabe Thregold. Charlie Ostrom was named to the Pac-12 All-First team, and he showed why right there. Although his goal-scoring ability isn't a big reason why he's such a great player, but I guess it's an added benefit. Ostrom, usually the playmaker actually, as a midfielder who can distribute. But my goodness, he hit that one pure as you like. Now a yellow card shown to Washington's Nick Scardina. First booking for the Pac-12 side. Second yellow card of the game. And what adjustments does Brian Weiss make for Georgetown? Because the 2019 national champions are in some trouble. It is a free kick from a promising position for the Hoyas. Cross sent in, header away. Once again, Washington does well defensively. Although Georgetown not done. They're still in the attacking third. On the ball is Dillo. Cross from the right wing blocked. It's out for a throw-in. Georgetown quickly take it. Playing with some urgency, even though there's more than a half hour to go. Also coming on for Georgetown was Joe DeLuz. He replaced Kyle Lynn Harris. Julian Churchill taking the throw. Rather not Churchill. That was Aiden Rocha taking the throw. Now it's sent out wide for Riviere. Edge of the box. To the end line it goes. Cross is a decent one, but Washington send it out of play. Quick throw in by Rocha. Now Pulvara. Even though Washington have the 2-goal lead, they'll need to be careful. This game is far from over. I can tell you that much right now. There's the clearance. All the way back to Nikopoulides. The Hoyas awarded the throw-in. Trailing by 2. Here's Chris Hegart. And now Kenny Nielsen. Georgetown starting to look better. Now a low-driven cross. Getting a touch was Akil Robin. Robin then comes in with the header. He's been doing it all as the anchor at the back for Washington. Referee plays advantage. Georgetown have it back. On the attack is Hegart. Hegart turns it over, though. And now it's the Huskies the other way. It's a great control touch. Defender could be beat here. It's Meek, who scored the first goal, cutting onto his left. Meek going for the shot, but he misses the target, trying to aim for that far post. Just put it wide from pretty acute angle, really. It's always going to be difficult. I think he was going for goal, even though it turned into kind of a cross. Half an hour left in regulation. Goals from Meek and Ostrom have Washington up by a couple. Georgetown down the right wing. And losing it there was Riviere. A poor touch. And just a mistake you can't afford at this stage of the match, with the score being what it is. Ostrom, who had quite the goal, taking the throw-in. It's kept in play nicely by Rocha. Clear foul, and another card it appears. This will be the third of the night. And there it is. The referee brings out the yellow and cautions Lucas Meek. So now a goal and a yellow card to the name of Lucas Meek. And yeah, he went in a bit reckless, catching the ankle of Rocha. And they showed on the scoreboard, on the ESPN scoreboard, that it was Keegan York who was booked, but that's not correct. It was Lucas Meek, who's now subbed off by Coach Jamie Clark. Do I think that Clemson can win the national championship in soccer? Do I think they can, or do I think they will? Of course they can. I mean, they're in the national title game, so they certainly have a shot. Do I think they will? Oof. Man, that's tough. I don't know, man. That's tough to say, because Clemson have already beat first-ranked Oregon State, then tonight fourth-ranked Notre Dame. So they're looking good right now. They certainly got a good shot, but then again, if Washington can hold on for the win here against Georgetown, I'd probably have to lean Washington, just because the manner of, well, we still have 28 minutes left, so we'll see. But so far, I've been really impressed with Washington in the second half. See if they can keep it up. Still a long way to go, though. But yeah, Clemson certainly have a good shot, I think. Here's a back post cross, header down. It's a risky back pass, and Fowler touches it over the end line. That was a wild sequence, really. Cosariense surprisingly decided to play it back to his goalkeeper with his feet. So Fowler, of course, couldn't pick it up. Couldn't really do much. Just had to let that one go out and concede the corner kick, or else it could have been further disaster. Here comes the outswinging corner kick. Ball floated to the edge of the box. Header wide from Kieran Sargent. So Washington catch a bit of a break there. As Fowler takes the goal kick. A reminder that tomorrow it's the 2021 MLS Cup, the main event, 3 Eastern time. Portland Timbers hosting New York City FC. I'll be on the call for that one. You can't miss it. As much as it pains me that my New England Revolution aren't in it, I'm still looking forward to the game in the end. Would have been great if the Revs were in it and they would have been hosting it too. I probably would have gone. But hey, I've got to get over it, don't I? Georgetown patiently moving it across the back line. This is Pulvara. Thanks everyone for your company tonight. Rocha going wide to Hegart. Now on the left wing, it's moved into the middle with Hegart. Trying to link up there with Stojanovic. It's kept alive by Georgetown. Do I know Ennis Freedom? Yeah, of course I do, Vaughn. He's on the Celtics. Pulvara. Nice drive to the end line. Cross delivered, and another nice adjustment by Washington's defense to handle the cross. Getting a touch was Costa Rienzi. It will be a Georgetown corner kick. The Hoyas playing with more and more urgency. Still 25 minutes remaining, but it's Georgetown trailing by 2. Yeah, I know he changed his name, Vaughn. Yeah, it's a little bit weird getting used to calling him that, but yeah. Oh, and shouts for a handball by Georgetown. Nothing called. Washington cleared. There is VAR here at the Final Four, so the referee could go to the monitor. We saw that in the first semifinal, where there was a check for a penalty. It wasn't given. The play continues for now. 24 minutes left in this game. That's a great takeaway, but a heavy touch there. First touch let him down. Marlon Tabora, who commits a foul of frustration, perhaps. Taking down Ryan Saylor, who appears to be in quite a bit of agony. Clutching his shoulder, it appears. Oh, yeah, he clipped him down low, and I think Saylor fell awkwardly on his left shoulder. That's what happened. And he's still down. This could be something more serious than maybe we originally anticipated. Clock stopped with 23:41 remaining in the second half. Saylor will be attended to by an athletic trainer. It's quite unfortunate to see this. I really do think, Tabora was just a bit frustrated by kind of wasting that opportunity he could have had by having that heavy first touch and then fouled Saylor as a result of his frustration once he realized he wasn't getting to the ball. And yeah, it was definitely an awkward landing for the Washington defender. Ryan Saylor redshirted in both 2016 and 2018. He played a grand total of just 3 minutes in 2017, and then started all 14 matches in 2020. And he was a 2021 Mac Herman semifinalist. So it really is a story of inspiration from Saylor, who has risen up the ranks at his time at Washington. And now they're showing the replay of that handball shout from Georgetown, but that's never going to be called. The hand was by the side of Kendall Burks. I think it was a good no call by the referee. And that'll be it for Saylor. He is subbed off for Washington. And replacing him, Nate Jones. Jones making his first appearance of the night. Yeah, and Saylor is still clutching that left shoulder. Might have even dislocated him. I don't want to make assumptions, but it's not looking too good for Saylor. Will be out the rest of the way, at least until overtime if Georgetown were to somehow come back and tie this game up. It's out for Ahoya's throwing. Georgetown know they need a goal soon. Throwing will be moved back here. Taking it again is Rocha. Couple of headers at midfield. Washington with the throw-in now. 3 quarters through the match, 2-0 Washington. Stefan Stojanovic just re-entered the game for Georgetown, replacing Zach Riviere. No surprise there. Georgetown still looking for their first goal. It's a poor pass out wide. Washington will get the throw-in. Well, scoring summary for you is Lucas Meek with his 4th goal this season in the 54th minute to break the deadlock. And then 3 minutes after that, Charlie Ostrom scoring just his 2nd goal this season. But what a goal it was. Upper 90 from the edge of the box. And just like that, Washington took a 2-goal lead. Yeah, I've seen some of the basketball sneakers he wears for games. Yeah, Vaughn. Nielsen. It's turned over. Washington now on the counter. It's moved over to the left side. This is Rosales. Rosales powered off the ball. Laid back by Stojanovic. Now Georgetown on the left wing attacking. Pass had a bit too much weight, but it's still with the Hoyas at the edge of the box. Here's a dangerous cross, headed into the air, and a good heading clearance in the end by Washington's Christian Soto. The Hoyas knocking on the doorstep, but not breaking that door open as of yet. Another direct ball into the box. Cleared out. Maybe a second chance here. Played over to the right side. Here's Tabora. Tabora on his left. Oh, what a stop. A spectacular save, and it's parried over the bar. Sam Fowler getting a right glove to it. Out for a corner kick. But what a chance that really was for Georgetown. Tabora cutting it onto his left. Powerful strike, and Fowler with the quick reaction save. Sam Fowler in his career, 29 postseason saves. That is a remarkable stat right there. No, not necessarily, Vaughn. 20:39 left. The clock stopped as there was an injured Washington player. That was Dylan Tevez, who will jog off now. And his replacement, Elijah Paul. Georgetown play it short on the corner. It's lifted into the area. And the header over the end line. Another corner kick. Georgetown will try again. Just over 20 minutes to go in regulation. Here's the in-swinger all the way through to the back post. No one could get there for Georgetown. It will be kept in play on the near sideline. And the Hoyas made with a second chance. Oh, and that's not the right decision there from Ronan Dillo. Trying to return it for Sean Zawatsky, but he was coming from an offside position and therefore wasn't expecting the pass. Here comes a Washington change. Kai Briscoe on for Nick Scardina. Inside the final 20 minutes. What's good, ranting New York Rangers? Welcome into the broadcast. I can't agree with your statement there as a Bruins fan, but I appreciate you tuning in nonetheless. You do a great job, man, with all broadcasting all Rangers games. I pop in every time I can once in a while, and I enjoy tuning in, man, even though I am not a Rangers fan myself. Hope you're having a wonderful night, man. Oh, that's taken away in the midfield, and here come Washington. Good defense, though. Slipping up, though, on the far side was Hegart. Now he wins it back and draws the foul. Under 19 minutes left in regulation. Yeah, of course, man. Of course, man. Oh, that's turned over in a bad area. Although it's quickly won back by the Hoyas. Here come Georgetown. Ball clipped over the top. Played out by Robin, although it didn't go all the way out. Well, the winner will face 8th-ranked Clemson Tigers in the national championship game. Sunday, 2 Eastern time. Tomorrow, an off day, and then Sunday back at it for the national title. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. That means a lot, man. Really appreciate the kind words. That's blasted out of play. Georgetown throwing coming up near the corner flag. Another substitution from Coach Brian Weiss. On comes Zach Riviere. Chris Hegard coming out. Oh, awesome, Roger. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Appreciate your company as Meek will also come into the match, replacing Rosales. Well, that's great to have a Washington fan here on the stream. I'm sorry to hear that you don't get ESPNU. And I would show the game if I could, but because of copyright reasons, I'm not allowed to. But yeah, at least you get basically a radio broadcast here. So I really appreciate you tuning in, Roger. And yeah, I'll try to call the action as best as I can for you, as I've been doing. What's going on? Goles Promerica, greetings from Costa Rica. Very good. Thanks for tuning in from Costa Rica. Yeah, Roger, Washington have had an unreal season, historical season. Of course, their first College Cup appearance, and now they're 16 minutes and 30 seconds away from a national championship appearance and a date with Clemson on Sunday. What's good, Ross? Welcome in. If the Huskies win, what's the odds they beat Clemson? I think they're decent. I don't know. I don't know really who'd be the favorite for that, to be honest. I mean, I think you could argue Washington would be the slight favorite. I know Clemson have beat first-ranked Oregon State, fourth-ranked Notre Dame tonight, but if Washington can get the job done here against Georgetown, I might lean Huskies. But it would be a toss-up, to be honest, because Clemson are a very good team, and they've proved that here in the NCAA tournament. That's one back by Washington. How about Washington's defense? They've limited Georgetown to 4 shots, and Georgetown this season have averaged 17 shots a game. That is a huge compliment to Washington's defense, limiting Georgetown's opportunities. That's played off of Gio Miglietti, and it will be a throw-in for the Hoyas. No, I'm pretty positive. Like 98% sure that Georgetown and Clemson haven't played this season now. I do not believe so. Since, Washington's from the Pac-12 and Clemson, of course, from the ACC. Oh, this is a good opportunity, but unable to connect the pass was Kai Briscoe. Was that a foul? The referee says no. Will Sands down for Georgetown, and now play halted with under 15 minutes left. The clock will be stopped. Let's see here. Oof. Yeah, very heavy challenge from Kai Briscoe. He did get ball first, maybe, but then got plenty of Sands. Nowadays, that probably is a foul, but the referee didn't call it in real time, and Sands still down for Georgetown. $14:50 remaining. The clock stopped. The athletic trainer attending to Will Sands, one of the real key players for Georgetown. And I'll tell you what, Georgetown have had some chances, not as many as they would have liked, but the opportunities have been there. And overall, it's just been a frustrating night for the Hoyas, who have been stifled by the impressive defense of Washington. Oh, is that right, Roger? Your son and his friend got to rush the field after the Elite Eight game last Saturday. That is fantastic stuff, man. That is fantastic stuff. Yeah, great memories, I'm sure, for him and his friend. That is very cool. Cool stuff. Will Sands will gingerly walk to the sideline. He's from New York. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to continue. It's not looking good. I'm sure he's going to do everything it takes to stay on the field. Once again, a reminder, the winner will take on Clemson in the national championship Sunday, 2 Eastern time. I hope to also be on the call for that game. With the Patriots having a bye week, there's not really a particular game I need to be locked into, at least in the early games for the NFL. So yeah, why not? I should be able to call the national championship. Excuse my yawn. It's getting a little bit late here on the East Coast. 11:21. That's where this game is being played too, and down in North Carolina, Eastern time zone. This game had a very late start because the early semifinal went to penalties. So this game didn't start till about 9:30. Washington make a substitution. I'll update you on that momentarily. The Huskies just trying to hold on here with 14 minutes remaining from Cary, North Carolina. I'm not sure what's going on here. The referee is having a word with the fourth official. Looks like the situation's under control. Oh, they were just resetting the clock. They'll put 14:26 on the clock. Out it goes again for a Washington throw-in. And they'll take their pleasant time on any possible restart. The Washington substitution saw Dylan Tevez replace Gio Miglietti. Ball controlled along the end line, but in the end, it was Elijah Paul running out of room, goal kick. Georgetown in desperate need of a goal in the coming minutes. Here's a long ball forward across midfield. The return pass off the mark from Tabora. And now Washington on the counter. Ball played ahead and full sprint from Paul. He's going to win a corner. Last touch by Rocha. And a corner kick on the way for Washington. Washington 13 minutes away from their first national championship appearance. But they still need to finish the job here. Ostrom to take the corner. Third of the game for the Huskies. Here's the in-swinger towards the back post. Popped into the air and over the bar by the head of Nate Jones. Excuse me, that was Kendall Burks, I believe. Good La Liga matchup, by the way, on tap Sunday, 3 Eastern time. It's the Madrid derby, Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. That should be an enticing La Liga matchup. Meanwhile, here in the College Cup, Georgetown trying to pursue their second championship, or second title, I should say, in the last 3 years, but that's in doubt. Deflected cross scooped up by the Georgetown keeper, Giannis Nikopoulides. His father was part of the Greece team that won the Euro 2004 championship. Nikopoulides was born in Greece, moved to the U.S. to play for Georgetown in college. Eleven and a half minutes remaining. This is sent out wide. Holding for Georgetown is Hegart. Trying to combine with Polvara, yeah. And now Washington managed to clear. Perfectly timed slide tackle to keep possession. Kenny Nielsen making the play. Direct ball forward, back to midfield. Georgetown still with it. Yes, that's right. I remember that, Roger. Yeah, so it is a revenge game of sorts for this Washington team. Here's the cross to the back post. The header is in! Off the hands of Fowler and into the back of the net. Georgetown have cut the lead in half and are finally on the board. Zach Riviere has made things interesting with 10:36 remaining. 2-1, and the Georgetown faithful still with some remaining hope. Well, that is just what Georgetown needed here. A good cross to the back post, and Fowler just didn't quite get enough on it. Probably should have done better with it because he was right there. Got his right hand to this ball, but in a bit of an awkward position, and the ball just went right into his own goal. But Riviere surely will be credited for the goal. I think by him heading it back across the face of goal, it really fooled Fowler a bit, and that's why he got it all wrong. The 5th goal of the season for none other than Georgetown's Zach Riviere, and it's now a 2-1 game, and all of a sudden, Washington are made to sweat here in the final 10 minutes of regulation. And Georgetown, with a renewed sense of energy and hope, should be a very intriguing and suspenseful ending now. Georgetown just made a substitution. On came Dominic De Almeida. Kieran Sargent coming out. Washington, meanwhile, brought Saylor back in. Scardina, meanwhile, replacing Briscoe. So a couple of changes on both sides. And we're inside the final 10 minutes of regulation. Georgetown needing another to equalize. Pass turned over by De Almeida, who just came in. Down the left wing for Washington, it's Lucas Meek. Meek moving it into the middle. Unable to control was Miglietti. And here come the Hoyas. All of a sudden, the momentum has shifted. Yeah, 100%, Roger. Yeah, just in this game, I've noticed how important Saylor is. As you say, huge defensive presence in the middle. He's the anchor of that back line. Very reliable as well. And yeah, very good in the air, as you say. No doubt about it. He's definitely headed a number of crosses away from danger. Here we go. 9 minutes to play. And on the right wing, it's De Almeida. Cross whipped in. It's all the way through. Who touched it last? Georgetown claiming they should have a corner, but it's a goal kick. But my goodness, all of a sudden, it's a completely different storyline here. Eight and a half to play. Washington, another change. Miglietti off. Elijah Paul has entered the match. Fowler takes the goal kick. Here come Washington. They could create a chance out of this. Sent out wide for Lucas Meek. Meek scored the first goal. But in the end, the double team pays off for Georgetown and they win it back. .740 remaining, but stay right where you are because we're in for a thrilling ending here in Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Soccer Park. Late night action, half an hour to midnight in North Carolina. That pass turned over by Georgetown. What a poor pass out wide. Washington giving it right back. It's been the problem for the Huskies these last 5 minutes or so. They just haven't been able to maintain possession, which is all they need to do now. A goal isn't really necessary, although it would be nice in their case. And this ball played over the top, nearly found its way to Stojanovic, but Fowler getting there first for Washington. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that is the case, Roger. Seems like your son summed it up nicely for every Washington fan right now. This is going to be a wild ending, really. We'll see if Washington can hold on. The goal from Riviere has given Georgetown a chance late. Polvara. Now edge of the 18-yard box. Haggard couldn't quite control the pass. And we're inside the final 6 minutes. The clearance by Washington. A long ball forward down the left wing. It's kept in play. Bouncing ball edge of the box. Washington managed to take over. This is blasted downfield, but not quite what Washington were looking for, as that goes right to the hands of Georgetown keeper Nico Politis. .512 remaining. Here's a switch by Georgetown. Settled by Riviere. He'll win the throw-in. And we're inside the final 5 minutes. Substitution made by Georgetown. Kenny Nielsen in. Kieran Sargent makes way. What's going on, Cleverson? Welcome into the stream. I will warn you, I am not fluent in Spanish, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to communicate efficiently with you in Spanish, unfortunately. I know a bit, but not a ton. I know falta is foul. Cuánto is how many. Not sure what the rest says. Here is De Almeida. Is that a foul? Yes, it is. And the referee was looking if he could play advantage, but instead blows the whistle and gives the free kick. Clock will be stopped with 3:53 left, it looks like. Taken down for Georgetown there was Marlon Tabora. Late drama here in North Carolina. Winner to the national championship game. A whole lot on the line. What's going on, Jeff? He says he can't take it. Yeah, I know. I understand, man. If you're a fan of one of these teams, I'm sure it's a nerve-wracking ending. 11th foul. Oh, sorry. A fourth foul on 11th foul, yes, on Washington. Just 4 on Georgetown so far tonight. And this is a dangerous opportunity. Free kick floated in towards the back post. Fall down to the edge of the box, but Georgetown lose it. Now Washington trying to clear, but the pass stolen away, but given right back by Georgetown. And here come Washington. Chested forward by Lucas Meek. And now Washington will slow it down, looking for more numbers. Sent out wide. And that's a blatant shove. And a free kick awarded to the Huskies. Furious as Chris Haggart, but I don't think he really has much of an argument. That was a clear two-hand shove as he took out Tevez. And it looks like Tevez has drawn blood on his right arm, which means he will be required to come off the pitch and have that taken care of. So the clock stopped with 3:04 remaining. All right, Jeff is a UW fan. All right, very good. You posted my link on Twitter. Oh, I really appreciate that, Roger. That means a lot, man. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Jeff, and everyone else who has joined for this epic ending. Under 3 minutes left, this ball floated towards the far corner flag. It's kept in play by Miglietti. Won back by Sands. Will Sands sending it towards midfield. Washington win it back. However, it looks like a foul was called. Yeah, he was looking to see if he could play advantage, but brought it back. 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. De Almeida with the challenge. It's out for a Georgetown throw-in. Desperation time for the Hoyas. Down by 1. Will this be kept in play? No, and they give a goal kick. We are inside the final 2 minutes, folks. Oh, you did some PA announcing for Washington this season. That's awesome, Jeff. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I'm an aspiring sports broadcaster myself. Yeah, I do. I'm a senior in high school, so I do play-by-play commentary for the TV channel in town for my high school's games. And I also do some PA announcing as well. I did 1 football game, and then I'm doing 7 basketball games this winter and all of the boys hockey games, PA announcing. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's awesome, man. It's a fun gig. That's cleared out. Throw in for Georgetown. They take it quickly with 70 seconds left. Is there one last chance for Georgetown to equalize? The header will go out of play. Oh, and that's a big challenge in there, but a clean one for Miglietti. And now the ball will be chipped towards the corner. Miglietti will chase it down. Although he's offside, the flag is raised. 40 seconds left. Georgetown need to get everyone forward, and including the goalkeeper at this stage. Half a minute remaining. This ball chipped into the box. Popped into the air by Saylor. And another clearance by Washington. It's off of Washington. Georgetown throwing. There's a foul. And they're going to stop the clock. 8 seconds remaining. And Georgetown will have one last free kick from a long way out. This is the last chance. The goalkeeper for Georgetown, Giannis Nikopoulides, is all the way up into the 18-yard box of Washington. Here we go. Chris Hegart to take the free kick. Meanwhile, a yellow card has been shown to, it looks like, Washington head coach Jamie Clark. It might have been an assistant. Couldn't quite tell. Either way, here we go. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Don Jr., appreciate it. This ball floated in towards the back post. See a bodies. It falls nicely, but put over the bar. Oh, my goodness. How has Zach Riviere missed that? And it's the last chance of the season, and it's all over. The Washington Huskies have done it. They advanced to their first national championship game in history. 2-1 the final score. And on Sunday at 2 Eastern time, it'll be the Clemson Tigers against the Washington Huskies for the title. Wow. An unbelievable game, and I cannot believe that Riviere missed that chance. He had an opportunity. The goalie was out of position. If he just kept it low enough, that ball would have gone in with 2 or 1 second left. And that would have been a dramatic, essential buzzer beater equalizer. But Riviere skied it over the bar, and Washington hang on by the thread of a needle. But you have to give credit to the Huskies, who in the end get the job done. It was never going to be easy. But they've done it, folks. Wow, going back to that last chance. Oh my, Riviere with a golden chance. And, you know, who knows if it would have been blocked off the line, because to be fair, Washington did have about 3 or 4 defenders on the goal line. But if Riviere had at least put that on target, it could have definitely been a goal. Wow. So there you have it. The 64-team field to start the NCAA tournament has been cut down to 2. 8th-ranked Clemson against 2nd-ranked Washington in the national championship Sunday, 2 Eastern time. And you won't want to miss that. I also plan on being on the call for that game. Well, this was a lot of fun, everybody. We got a pretty good crowd in here, particularly at the end. So I really appreciate that, everyone. And thank you for the kind words, everybody. Thank you so much, Roger, Don, Jeff, Cleverson, Junior, Mondo, everyone else. I'm sure I am missing a couple of people, but not intentionally. So everyone who has been a part of the stream, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Samuel Reese saying good night. Georgetown 1, Washington 2, the final score. The first half a bit quiet, but the second half certainly delivered. And it's Washington heading to the national title game to take on the Clemson Tigers. Thank you so much for the kind words, everybody. And I'll see you guys next time. I will be on the call for MLS Cup tomorrow. between the Portland Timbers and New York City FC, and then the national championship here in Division I NCAA men's soccer tournament. So that will be my weekend ahead. Really looking forward to it. And thank you so much, Roger. I'll see you then. Sounds great, man. 2-1 Washington on to their first ever national championship.